If you made it through the 90s with your sanity intact, congratulations. You're tougher than a Nokia phone dropped off a building. Let's take a trip down memory lane as we count down 25 more things from the 90s that are now completely useless. Dot matrix printer ribbons. These fabric ribbons were like the carbon paper of the computer age, except they cost 20 bucks and printed everything in that special shade of almost black, but really dark purple. The paper had those perforated edges with holes that you'd tear off and immediately regret because now your resume had fuzzy edges. But the sound. You could hear someone printing from 3 houses away. Johnson's printing his taxes again. The neighbors knew your business because your printer announced it to the whole ZIP code. Kids today complain when their wireless printer needs to wake up. Wake up. Our printers never slept. They just screamed at different volumes. Computer magazines for internet sites. We literally bought paper magazines to tell us about websites. Let that sink in. Cool Sites Monthly. Internet Directory. 500 best websites. By the time the magazine hit newsstands, half the sites were gone. But we'd sit there typing in URLs letter by letter. And God help you if you mixed up a lowercase l with a capital I. One typo and you're on some weird German industrial supplies website instead of that cool Beanie Baby forum. These magazines were like GPS systems that only updated quarterly. According to this issue from March, Alta Vista is the hot new search engine. Meanwhile, it's December, and 3 better ones exist, but we collected these things. Portable CD wallets for your car. That visor organizer with 12 slots for CDs that turned your car into a mobile music library/greenhouse. Because nothing says good idea like storing plastic discs in direct sunlight. By summer, your CDs were more warped than a Salvador Dali painting. But we all had one, didn't we? Flipping through CDs at red lights like we were DJs preparing our next set. Should I go with Hootie or Alanis? The real pros had the 48-disc book on the passenger seat alphabetized with handwritten tabs. Until one day you break too hard and suddenly your entire music collection is scattered across the floor like the world's most expensive coasters. Kids today have 10,000 songs in their pocket. We had 12 in our visor and felt like kings. CRT monitor screen cleaners. These special anti-static wipes for your computer monitor that cost more per square inch than gold leaf. Your monitor attracted dust like it was magnetized, which it basically was, and these magic wipes were supposed to repel it, for about 6 minutes. Then you'd touch your screen and get shocked with enough static electricity to power a small village. We'd clean these monitors religiously, watching the colors go all rainbow when you press too hard, like a mood ring the size of a microwave. The best part? The monitors weighed 87 pounds, so to clean the back, you needed a spotter like you were at the gym. Caller ID boxes. This separate device that told you who was calling was like having a bouncer for your phone. It had its own plug, its own screen, and its own attitude. Unknown number, it would flash. Like, that was helpful. Thanks, I could have figured that out by not knowing who it was. But if you had caller ID, you were fancy. You could screen calls like royalty. Oh, it's Dave. I'm not here. The power. The control. Until you forgot to check it and missed something important. Why didn't you answer? I didn't know it was you. Don't you have caller ID? Yes, but I have to walk over to it and look. It was like having a secretary who only told you who called after they already hung up. Useful. TV/VCR programming manuals. These instruction manuals lived permanently in your coffee table drawer because nobody could remember how to set the timer record. It was 47 steps involving buttons that didn't exist and menu options hidden behind other menu options like some kind of electronic escape room. Press MENU-3-7-ENTER-RECORD. By page 73, you're learning about features you didn't know existed. Apparently, my VCR can record in LP mode, whatever that meant. The manual was thicker than the actual VCR. Half of it was warnings, the other half was lies. Easy programming? Not really. User-friendly? Absolutely not. Intuitive interface? Yeah, no. These manuals were written by engineers who apparently never met humans. Long-distance calling plans. After 9 p.m. and weekends. The battle cry of everyone trying to call someone 2 states away without filing for bankruptcy. We had plans for talking. Different rates for different times, like the phone company was running a happy hour. Don't call your grandmother until 9:01, it'll save us $6. We'd hover over the phone, watching the clock, waiting for that magic moment when calls became affordable, meaning only slightly criminal instead of completely insane. 10 cents a minute to call someone 3 towns over. Every long-distance call started with, "I'll make this fast," and ended with a $40 phone bill. 1.44 megabytes of storage that somehow held your entire life's work. These thin squares of hope and disappointment would fail at the exact moment you needed them most. Disk read error was basically the computer saying, "Your homework is gone forever, sorry not sorry." But we trusted them, labeled them with tiny writing, had special cases for them. "This disk contains my thesis," you'd write, knowing full well that disk would corrupt itself out of spite. The 3.5-inch floppy wasn't even floppy, so false advertising from the start. You'd need 17 of them to install one program, switching them out like you're performing a magic trick. Number 17, carbon paper. The original copy and paste, except it was messy, smudgy, and got on everything you owned. Carbon paper was like the office supply from hell. It stained your fingers, your clothes, your soul. You'd slide it between forms to make duplicates, and the bottom copy always looked like someone wrote it during an earthquake. Is that a 5 or an S? Could be either. But every receipt book had it, every work order used it, and every important document required it. We were literally pressing hard enough to transfer ink through paper like some kind of administrative witchcraft. And heaven forbid you put it in backwards. Congratulations. You just carbon copied the back of your form. TV/VCR combo units. These Frankenstein monsters were supposed to save space, but really just meant when one part broke, you lost everything. It was like putting all your eggs in one really heavy, really expensive basket that ate VHS tapes for breakfast. The TV was always too small, the VCR was always jamming, and the whole unit weighed more than a refrigerator. But we thought we were genius for buying these. "Look, honey, it's 2 things in one." The repair guy would look at it and laugh. TV/VCR combo, that'll be $300. But I just need the VCR fixed. "Sorry, they're connected," he'd say. "Rabbit ear antennas with aluminum foil." The aluminum foil on rabbit ears was basically admitting defeat while pretending you were MacGyver. The reception's bad? Add more foil. We turned our TVs into conspiracy theorist headquarters, with enough aluminum to contact aliens. You'd spend 20 minutes adjusting them for Channel 7, then someone would walk by and static. "Don't move, you're affecting the signal." People became human antenna extensions. Stand right there with your arm up. Perfect. Now don't move for the next hour while we watch ER. The foil balls on the tips looked like the world's saddest birthday party decoration, but we were convinced it helped. It was the placebo effect of television reception. Check writing for regular bills. Writing checks was like sending money via horse and buggy. Every month, same ritual. Checkbook out, pen that works, good luck, and the focus of a surgeon. Date, pay to the order of, amount in numbers, amount in words. Why both? Signature that never looked the same twice. Then the memo line where we'd write helpful things like electricity, as if we'd forget why we sent the power company money. Rip it out carefully. Don't tear it. Now find an envelope, address it, stamp it, mail it. Wait 5 days. Hope it gets there. Hope they cash it. Hope you had money when they did. It was like playing financial Russian roulette every month. Did the phone company get my check? Who knows? We'll find out when they either thank us or shut off our service. Camcorders. These shoulder-mounted movie studios weighed 12 pounds and made you look like a news reporter, covering your kid's birthday party. The battery lasted exactly 27 minutes, so you better make those memories fast. Quick, blow out the candles, we're losing power. The tapes cost $15 each and held 1 hour of shaky footage of people saying, "Turn that thing off." You needed a separate bag just for accessories. Extra batteries, tapes, cables, lens cleaners, and that weird shoulder brace that nobody ever used correctly. Playing back footage required 17 cables, and knowing which input on the TV to use. Is it Video 1 or Video 2? CD scratch repair kits. These kits promised to restore your scratched CDs to like-new condition, which was a lie bigger than the checks in the mail. You'd apply the special solution, buff in a circular motion, never straight lines, and pray to the music gods. The CD would skip in slightly different places, which technically meant it worked. The professional kits came with a little hand crank machine that spun your CD while you held the cloth, turning you into a human record player. After 20 minutes of buffing, your Backstreet Boys CD would play tracks 1, 3, half of 5, and something that sounded like track 8 being played backwards underwater. Success. Word processors. Before computers conquered the world, we had these mutant typewriter computer hybrids that did one thing: process words. That's it. No games, no internet, just words being processed like linguistic sausages. They had a screen that showed you 4 lines of text. 4 lines. You were basically typing through a mail slot. The memory could hold about 10 pages, assuming you didn't use any big words. Want to save your document? Insert a disk. Want to print? That's built in. Want to do literally anything else? Buy a computer. These machines cost $500 to do what a 50-cent pen could do, but slower and with more steps. But we felt so professional typing on them. Address label makers with rotating wheels. The Dymo label maker was like a medieval torture device for plastic. You'd rotate the wheel to find each letter, squeeze with the force of 1,000 suns, and create raised plastic labels that would outlive humanity. These labels were permanent. You could label something in 1994, and that label would survive nuclear war. Jason's stuff, do not touch. And it's still there 30 years later, long after Jason moved away, got married, had kids, forgot this stuff even existed. Making one label was a 5-minute hand workout. Want to write telephone numbers? That's 47 clicks, and your hand cramping by letter 8. But everything got labeled. Phone books and yellow pages. These 4-inch thick monuments to dead trees showed up on your doorstep annually, immediately becoming either a booster seat or a doorstop. The white pages, everyone's name and address just out there for anyone to see. The yellow pages was where businesses went to fight for your attention, with increasingly ridiculous font sizes. A1 Plumbing wasn't just first alphabetically, it was also in 72-point font with lightning bolts around it. Need a plumber at 2 a.m.? Better hope you can find the phone book, find the plumbing section, find a plumber that's actually still in business. Half of them weren't. And then call them on your landline. Road atlases. The Road Atlas. 200 pages of "you are here," except you never knew where "here" was. These books required a PhD in geography and the patience of a monk. You'd pull over, unfold a map the size of a tablecloth, and try to figure out if you were on Route 287 north or south while cars honked at you. According to this map from 1987, there should be a town here. There isn't. There never was. The map lied. But we trusted them. Had one in every car. The glove compartment was 90% maps, 10% actual gloves. Asking for directions meant admitting defeat. We're not lost. I know exactly where we are. You didn't. You were in New Jersey when you meant to be in New York, but you'd never admit it. GPS saves marriages now. Back then, every road trip was one wrong turn away from divorce court. You were supposed to be watching the map. I was. This map is from before this highway existed. Mouse balls and cleaning kits. Your mouse ball was like a pet that required constant grooming. Every week, twist off that little ring, Pop out the ball and marvel at the archaeological layers of desk crud wrapped around the rollers. You'd scrape them with your fingernail like you were performing microsurgery, creating little lint logs that represented weeks of mouse movement. The special cleaning kit came with tweezers, solutions, and a tiny brush that did nothing. But the satisfaction of reinstalling that clean ball. Your cursor would glide like it was on ice. For about 3 days. Then the crud would return, seeking vengeance. Travel agents for basic trips. Walking into a travel agency was like entering a portal to exotic lands. If those lands were represented by faded posters of beaches from 1982. Your travel agent, usually named Barb or Carol, would flip through massive books of hotel options like she was conducting a seance. Let me see what's available in Orlando. 20 minutes later. I can get you a room near the airport for $67 a night. How near? Very near. You'll hear every plane, but we trusted them. They had the special computer. The one that went click, click, click and printed on carbon paper. They'd hand you an envelope with 17 documents. Don't lose these. They're irreplaceable. Booking a trip took 3 visits, 4 phone calls, and a small loan. Now you book entire vacations on your phone while sitting on the toilet. Barb is probably selling essential oils on Facebook now. Sorry, Barb. No, micro cassette tapes. These tiny tapes were like regular cassettes that went on a diet and lost too much weight. They held 30 minutes of audio that sounded like someone talking through a kazoo in a wind tunnel. But every answering machine used them. Every handheld recorder. Note to self, you'd say into your recorder, like you were a detective in a noir film. These tapes would tangle themselves just by existing. Open the drawer too fast? Tangled. Look at them wrong? Tangled. The recorder would eat them with the enthusiasm of a starving animal. But we kept buying them, had dozens, all labeled important, do not record over, with no indication of what was on them. TV tuner cards for computers. Why have a TV and a computer when you can have a bad version of both? Installing a TV tuner card was like performing organ transplant surgery on your computer. Open the case, warranty void. Find an empty slot, good luck. Install drivers from 6 different floppy disks, sacrifice a goat to the technology gods, and maybe you could watch fuzzy cable in a window the size of a playing card. The lag was so bad, you'd hear the touchdown happen outside before seeing it on your screen. It's the future, we declared, watching pixelated broadcasts while our actual TV sat 10 feet away with perfect reception. But we felt like hackers. I'm watching TV on my computer. Yeah, badly. You're watching it badly. Dial-up internet modems. -KSHHHHHHHH, the mating call of the internet. That 56K modem was your portal to the World Wide Web, assuming nobody needed to use the phone for the next 6 hours. Get off the internet, I need to call your father. The eternal struggle. You'd download one song, and it took 45 minutes. If someone picked up the phone, start over. The modem itself was a beige box of broken promises. 56K, it claimed. You got 28,000 on a good day when the wind was right and Mercury was in retrograde. Web pages loaded from top to bottom like someone was slowly pulling up a window blind. Is that a picture or did the page break? Wait 17 more seconds to find out. Kids today complain when a video doesn't instantly load in 4K. We waited 3 minutes for a photo to load and it was 12 pixels. But we were online. Surfing the information superhighway at the speed of a mobility scooter. CD storage towers and books. Your CD collection wasn't just music, it was furniture. These towers reached to the ceiling, holding 300 CDs you'd play exactly twice. But they had to be displayed, alphabetized, categorized by genre. Is Green Day under G or D? The eternal debate. The towers would inevitably fall over during your party, creating a musical domino effect and scratching everything. The portable CD books were even better. 64 slots of "Where did I put that album?" You'd flip through them at red lights, trying to find that one Counting Crows album while holding up traffic. The sleeves would tear, CDs would fall out, and somehow you'd always lose your favorite one. But we judged people by their CD collections. They only have 50 CDs? Amateur. Now someone's entire music library fits on their phone. Your 300 CD tower? That's cute. Spotify has 70 million songs. Your tower is now a very expensive cat scratching post. Whiteout correction fluid. This liquid paper was basically paint for documents, and we were all terrible artists. One mistake on your essay, time to perform document surgery. You'd paint over the error, blow on it like you're giving CPR to paper, wait 3 minutes, then try to write over the bumpy, crusty surface that never quite matched the paper color. By the end, your document looked like it had survived a war. The bottle would get goopy after 2 uses, so you'd add thinner, shake it like a martini, and hope for the best. Usually, you'd make it worse. The brush would get crusty, spreading chunks of dried whiteout like you're frosting a cake. Get it on your hands? You're marked for days. Teachers could spot whiteout from space. Nice try covering up that F and making it a B. We were the last generation that had to earn our entertainment, fight our technology, and work for basic communication. If this trip through the 1990s back memories, then hit that subscribe button like you're trying to make carbon copies. I'll see you all in the next video.